Hello, Legacy Sabers. Marsh here. So today we're going to start the second unit, which is on conditional statements. Today's information is going to be on Booleans and if statements. So first question, what is a Boolean? We kind of talked about this a little bit when we got to our variable types, but a Boolean is a value that can be either true or false. So basically, you can kind of think of this as like an answer to a yes or no question, is honestly what we would be going at with this problem. So, some real life Booleans that you might see in your life. Did you bring food? You would either answer yes or no. Did you bring a drink? Yes or no. Here's what those would look in Python. So, I could make a variable called brought food and I could assign it true. I could assign brought drink equal false. Now, one thing to notice, these are not in quotations, and you have to capitalize the first letter. That has to be done so that it looks nice and pretty on it. Just like with numbers, Booleans can be given to the str function before they can be concatenated with strings. So I got brought food, I would want to print that. I had to put str in the front to be able to print out that true. Kind of like when we wanted to print out a number, we had to put str to trick Python into thinking that, yes, this is totally a string. You can totally put it there. So that's what we have to do also with our Boolean statements. So now, as of right now, when you're writing a program, we can only do sequential steps. We can't skip around, and sometimes you just want your program to do different things based on a condition. Like if the user types this in, I want this to happen. But if they type this in, I want this to happen. That is unavailable to us as of yet. But today, today we're going to talk about the if statement. An if statement is a programming construct that allows a program to behave differently depending on circumstances. So depending on what the user types in, we can make certain things happen than others. When you're using an if statement, basically you can write programs that do different things depending on what the user does. So right here I got a program that I asked the person to type in their age, the user to type in their age, and depending on what they type in, I display something different. So if they're 23, I put you're old enough to vote in the US. But if they only typed in 16, I would say you aren't old enough to vote in the US. So this would be my ability to be able to control, depending on what the user types in, I can control what will come out of the program. It makes our programs a little bit more different, I guess. You could have different things happening in your program. So an if statement, when we're looking at it, is a decision statement. It's going to execute a set of statements when the condition is true, and only when a condition is true. Here's the general form in Python that we're going to be following. So we're going to have the word if, and that should be a lowercase I, my bad guys. If, and then condition, colon, and then statements inside. Condition is what the computer is going to evaluate to either true or false. It's a Boolean statement. Statements is what the computer is going to do if the condition is true in our case. Let's take a look at some examples here. So here's my example. Age equals int input, please enter your age. So notice what I'm doing is I'm asking the person to enter in their age. Then I have this if statement. If, should be age, equals 18, print, you can vote. Now notice how this is two equal signs. Well, that means equal to. So this is it equal to? We have to use two equal signs to check for equality. One equal sign is for assigning, two equal signs is for equal to. So I'm going to print you can vote. So what's going to happen first? Well, let's say age was assigned 19. So they typed in 19. So what's going to happen inside my program is it's going to determine is 19, because that's what age is, right? Is 19 equal to 18? Well, no, right? 19 is definitely not equal to 18, Marsh. So you would say nothing would happen, because this can only happen if this is a true statement. So nothing would happen on this one. What about 14? So let's say we change this Instead of 19, we're going to change it to 14. So that's what the user typed in for my input. So if 14 is equal to 18, is 14 equal to 18? No, right? So this again, nothing would happen once more. So keep that in mind. That's going to continually happen, in which you might not have anything print. That's an if statement, okay? Because we have the ability to decide when things should happen. Now, let's say the person types in 18. I'm going to erase my 4 here. Type in the 8. So is 18 equal to 18? Well, yeah, of course it is. So we would print at this time, you can vote. Okay, so keep that in mind, that these if statements, they might not necessarily always print something. We got to be careful when we read through them to see that they will, in fact, actually print something. Now, you can use not just equal sign, you can also use other relational operators. And I know you're probably thinking, really, we need to talk about these? But you know what? There are a lot of students that I find they struggle knowing which one's the less than, which one's the greater than. So this guy right here, he is the less than sign. And the best way to know this is a less than, if I would straighten him out and length that side, you see how it would be an L? Yeah, that's the best way to figure out it's a less than sign. If I straighten it out, is it going to make an L? Okay. This guy is a greater than sign. Now, this guy, you probably recognize him to look like this, but this isn't on our keyboards, so we can't type that. So what we're going to type instead for greater than or equal to is a greater than sign and an equal sign. Kind of makes sense, right? Greater than, equal to, kind of works. This guy, just like it's not a smiley face if you turn to the right, this guy is less than or equal to. Okay. And then the final guy, he's kind of strange. He is what's known as not equal. So if I want to see if these two things are not equal to one another, that is the one I would use in that regard. In regular math class, you may have seen this sign look like that. It's an equal sign with a cross through it. So let's try with another relational operator. So I got age equals int input, please enter your age. So I check to see if age is greater than 17, I want to print, you can see an R-rated film without an adult. So 19, what if age is assigned 19? What if the person types in 19? So what's going to happen in the computer is it's going to go age is 19. Okay, yep. Then it's going to ask itself a question. Is 19 greater than 17? True, right? That's a true statement. Yes. So what would print is you can see an R-rated film. Okay? Let's try 17. Do my erasing here. Takes a little bit. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. 17. Okay? Is 17 greater than 17? No, right? That is not a true statement. So for 17, nothing would print. Let's do 13. So I'm going to cross out the 17 here. I'm going to put 13. Is 13 greater than 17? Nah, right? 13 is definitely not greater than 17. So again, nothing would print on this one in particular as well. And that's the end of the video. We're going to do some examples and work with if statements, and we're going to keep on kind of building this information as we work. So I will see you later, Savers.